Greek football, Olympiacos against Panathinaikos, and as ever the noise and atmosphere leaves you in no doubt that this is one of Europe's fiercest club games. So fierce down the years, in fact, that Athens police took the step of banning Pana fans today. And an extra edge is added in that a win for either here would take them above AK and top of the table. Rivaldo is fit. That's the news that Olympiacos had waited all week to hear. So too is the central defender Georgios and Atalakis. So Olympiacos are at full strength with the exception of Shura, the defensive midfielder. A strange day, no doubt, is in store for the Euro 2004 winning goalkeeper Nikopolidis. He lines up for the first time against the club where he played for 15 years. Well, Ezequiel Gonzalez is Pana's very own South American string puller. He's likely to play just in behind the number 19 Constantinu as the Czech coach Zdeněk Šťastný tries to stifle and frustrate the opposition here in the middle of the park. It's potentially a massive week this for Athens football. Both Olympiacos and Pana could find themselves in the last 16 of the Champions League if things go their way. Olympiacos have to avoid losing by 2 goals at Liverpool. And Panathinaikos must beat PSV and hope that Arsenal don't beat Rosenborg. Olympiacos free kick here. Foul by Maric. And Predrag Djordjevic, a real veteran of these fixtures, the Serb, knocks it in. What a chance that was. Well, he does miss them sometimes. Look at this, didn't have to necessarily hit it first time. Oh, wow. That's Halkias, the Pana keeper. He looks like he's been struck on the back of the head by an object thrown from the stands. This is the last thing anyone needs connected with this fixture. We can, well, see a missile comes down, hits him on the back of the neck. This is Castillo. Wants the foul. Oh, well, that's late. Poor challenge. And it's going to be Gonzalez yellow carded. Maybe a surprise that we've had to wait over a quarter of an hour for the first booking here, but he leaves his leg in, doesn't he, on Stoltaitis. Cafes. And that was Castillo. Strong challenge. Well, it was Gumas claiming that he won the ball there. Which he did, but he takes the man down too. Rivaldo range. There it is, it's 1-0. Terrific free kick by Rivaldo. Deadlock is broken after half an hour's play at the Karaiskaki. Gets it up over the wall, and there is too much fizz on it for Halkias. Look at that, that is threaded through the eye of a needle. My Munch nodded across. First real opening for Pana here. Not clear. Drilled into the side netting. His bounce is there off Cafes, and it was Constantinu who really should have hit the target. Well, down come the objects again from the stands. And a flare as well. Well, landed just in front of Venatides. Security inside the stadiums here in Greece is a real concern. The Panathinaikos fans, remember, there are no supporters from their own team here. It's the players that are bearing the brunt of the ire of Olympiacos. That was a real good chance. Nikopolidis there. Oh, good reflex save. Denying his former teammates. It was prodded out by Gonzalez. 31 wins for Olympiacos down the years in this fixture. Panathinaikos 22, 37 draws. Comes in from Basinas. Oh, and that's hammered over. Olympiacos really do look vulnerable, though, from set pieces. Particularly these corners swung high into the box. Well, it seemed like handball there, didn't it? Before it was slammed over by Gonzalez. These games always seem to matter. AEK currently top, but only by a point. Djordjevic, and it's Olympiacos who are heading to the top of the Greek Championship this evening. Predrag Djordjevic does well, intelligent ball back, swept through by Giovanni. Well, it was straight at Halkias. Djordjevic started it. Giovanni helped it on. And then it was hit low by Georgiatos. Oh, lovely turn. Giovanni. And scampering away is Georgiatos. Couldn't get the first cross in. Needs a bit of help, really, over on the far side there. And then just dropped in towards the penalty spot. Panathinaikos unable to clear their lines here. Oh, good effort. Rivaldo again. Slam that goalwards. Well, that would have sealed it. It's not been a great performance, this, from Panathinaikos, and it could get even worse, because that's Gonzalez, who's going to get a second yellow and thus a red, and he was the great hope for Panathinaikos here, but he spent too much of this match devoting his efforts and energies in a way that does not help his team. It's their time for a second goal for Olympiacos. They've been stronger and hungrier, and it is they who go to the top of the Greek Championship. 9 wins from 9 at home for Olympiacos. 1-0 the final score.
Elsewhere then in Greece, AEK only managed to draw against Saloniki, and Egaleo down in third could only manage to be beaten at home by Kalatea. That was the big upset of the weekend. AEK remained a point behind Olympiacos. Panathinaikos drop a couple of points, and Egaleo dropped down to 4th place. Ergotelis are going to Panathinaikos next week. AEK, where Xanthi and Olympiacos play Apollon.
To Italy in the Stadio delle Alpi, where it was a case of different kits, but same old Juve. They didn't have it all their own way here. Muzi's knocked down for Lazio, finished off eventually by Goran Pandev. A terrific burst through, and not a bad finish either. It's the Macedonian's second of the season. He is a bright spot in what's been a dismal, dark time of it so far for Lazio. Juve crucially got back on level terms before the break. It was Ruben Oliveira's header. At last, the Uruguayan is getting his chance in the Juve first team. The winner arrived 15 minutes from the end. A real poacher's effort near post by Zlatan. 19 points from a possible 21 at the Delle Alpi, won by Juve. Pressure on Milan then to get a win at Parma. Still struggling, the Tardini side. Not when that was knotted in, though, by Gilardino. Parma had the lead here with just 23 minutes to go. It was Gilardino's second of the season. A tap-in by Kaká with 8 minutes to go brought things level, and the perfect comeback was completed just a minute from time. The loose ball drilled home by Andrea Pirlo. It's his second of the season. Milan staying in touch at the top. They have the best away record in Serie A. It's played 7-1-6 on their travels for Ancelotti's team. Well, Inter needed to do something other than draw, purely for the sake of their sanity. The right result was secured here, and they may claim all they want that they don't rely on Adriano, but Well, the actions of the Brazilian here will tell their own story. He scored twice in the opening 13 minutes. Second at trademark free kick. Wasn't finished there, though. 36 minutes gone. And a hat-trick. Took his tally up to 13 for the season. Pushing him up out front above Vincenzo Montella. This was a real flashpoint, though. Francesco Toldo was sent off for that professional foul on Yanagisawa. Maybe brief hope that Messina could find themselves back in this match. But Mancini's team were far too good here. Mihailovic getting the luck of the bobble. That was 4-0, 55 minutes gone. Real drama, though, as there always seems to be at the San Siro these days. That was Rafael, fouled by Zanetti. It was a twice taken penalty, that. First one was scored, second one was saved by Fabian Carini on his Inter debut. Just to rub salt into the wounds, Vieri marauded through here for a fifth goal for Inter. 5-0, and a welcome result to end a run of 9 straight draws in the league and the Champions League. Udinese stay third. Good 1-0 win for them against Siena. An early Di Natale goal. Lecce involved in another thriller. They emerge victorious. Juve 4 points clear from Milan then, and it's a big gap down to Udinese. Cagliari still going well. 2 goals for Zola in their win at the weekend. At the bottom, Atalanta looks very gloomy for them. Still no win still for the Bergamo team after 14 matches.
Still to come then, we'll go to Spain to see how Barcelona extend their lead in La Liga. Beckham comes closest for Real Madrid, but not close enough. They drop more points. Beamar scored the biggest upset of the weekend, and Sporting hit 5. Well, Barca topped the table with little stress them against the Malaga side, who managed just 3 wins all season. Rijkaard did make changes. Iniesta started for the first time at the beginning of the game. Giuli was in for last, who'd got headed off to Colorado to meet old Doc Steadman, who'd operated on Mota. On field, Eto'o making his 150th appearance in La Liga, opened the scoring. 11th goal for Barcelona for him. Malaga had made a lot of changes. Litos, Isnata, Manu, Rodriguez all came in. Amongst those dropped were the early season star performers such as One Shot. Didn't make a lot of difference. They were a distant second. This was one of the goals of the week, scored by Deco. Half an hour gone then, game over, and it was just a question of damage limitation for Malaga. Onside, Marquis finds Deco. He got a little bit cocky, delayed it a little too long, but Barca still made them pay. Iniesta with the goal. Well, Fernando Sanz said that Real Madrid made the biggest mistake of recent years when they let Samuel Eto'o go. He only made 3 performances for Real Madrid. He's doing an awful lot better here. Doesn't look like there's much on here. Look at Iniesta, though, pick out Eto'o. Wonderful execution from Eto'o, 4 goals to 0, and Barcelona cruising. Press blackout time again in Madrid as the players reacted angrily to criticism over last weekend's performance. It wasn't going to get any better after this weekend's. Beckham went closest of all. 2 absentees for a match. Villarreal never won. Pellegrini suspended. Figo at suspended. He also injured himself in training midweek. Great counter-attack here. Now, just look at the number of Real Madrid players that don't complain about offside when this ball goes in. As they turn, they're greeted with a raised flag and the realization that they've got away with a point. Final score, Villarreal 0, Real Madrid 0. Latino has tried to reduce the pressure on his players by telling everybody who'll listen they've got no objectives for the season. The third-place team, though, too good on the day. 1 goal it took, scored by Tamudo. Only his second of a disappointing campaign for him. Form interrupted by a lot of niggling injury, but he's now settling back in to his role as the number one. The only goal of the game, Espanyol win by 1-0. Well, the reigning champions are on the rise after back-to-back wins. Spirit was high, and it needed to be in a week, which also includes that tie against Werder Bremen in the Champions League. Now, 5 minutes gone, the cross from the left, stopped twice by Canizares. Mikel closed in to score, but it was a free kick. The Valencia players, though, weren't too pleased. A lot of changes by Ranieri once again. 5 coming into this game. How did they miss this? Fiore saved it on the line, but did he do it with his arm? Just a month ago, the sort of luck that they're going to get here was very much absent from anything that Valencia did. The tides turned, the luck's back, and the goal was scored eventually by Xisco. Well, Marquena, Aurelio Rufetta and Aimar all back, along with Divao. It did the job. Well, from positions 2 to 5 in Primera Liga, just 2 points separated the 4 teams, with Sevilla down in 5th place. Another won the goal, this time Esteban to Baptista, who recovered and scored the best goal of, if not this season, then perhaps his whole career. Well, home form is amongst the best. 2 points only dropped in the last 15. It's a record similar to Bilbao's home form. Away, though, all the last 5 have been lost, and that's the way it continued. 65 minutes, Alves to Carlitos, 2-0. Game over. Good week as well in Europe. Seville qualify for the next round of the UEFA Cup. Bilbao almost there. Well, another team whose away form is hindering their rise up the table is Atletico. At home, only Barcelona and Zaragoza have left the Calderón with a point. Osasuna weren't going to do anything better today. Fernando Torres, after 15 minutes, with the opening goal. Osasuna began the day in 7th. And their form away mirrored that of Atletico. 1 point since September the 12th, when they picked up an unlikely draw in La Coruña. 30 minutes, free kick, goal by Balesta. Balesta's first goal of the season. Well, that really should have been the game over, but Atletico, well, they started to teeter a bit at the back. It was taken advantage of. The goal scored by Valdo. Second goal of the campaign for Valdo, and all of a sudden, after being comprehensively outplayed for the first 43 minutes, they were back in the game. 10 minutes into the second half, though, they were back out of it. Colster with a deflection, 3-1. Second goal of the campaign for him. Some controversy as well to come on 66 minutes. Pablo Garcia receives his second yellow card and is sent off. Very harsh when you see the reason why he got the second yellow. Illegal use of the backside there. Didn't hinder their attacking intent. 74 minutes, Aloisi to Morales. And it would be 3-2. Great goal, but it was as near as they got to levelling it. 3-2 the final score. Sociedad's 5 wins in the last 9 have alleviated some but not all of the pressure that relegation brings, of course. Asuncao with that. We haven't seen many of those this season. Now, big hint of offside there. 36 minutes, the ball for Kovacevic, who lobs Risco. And that's the only goal of the game. And shows as well just how much fortune is now beginning to smile on Sociedad. Final score, 1-0. But despite a run which has seen Depor lose just 1 of the last 10, which has taken them from relegation zone to 8th, few people believe this team is capable of mounting a challenge for serious honours. 22 minutes gone, though. Benayoun with an opening goal on his campaign this season. Now, this was the best move of the entire game as far as Deportivo were concerned, and it would end with this ball being crossed into the penalty area. And look at Scaloni. Was he fouled? The crowd thought he was. The referee was perfectly positioned, and he absolutely wasn't. Well, after not giving there, the referee decided to become very generous indeed, and he gave a penalty there for a handball by Moraton. Awful decision this by the referee. Compensation for the one that they didn't get at the other end. Luque from the spot. 1-1. Well, the luck returned, though, moments later, as Aguoti saved right on his line. And then with 10 minutes to go, beautiful cut down that by Guerrero. 2-1. And victory seemingly assured. Just 10 minutes to play. All they needed to do was stay calm, keep possession. But it was too much to ask. Pandiani is the joint top scorer with Luque. This is the reason why. Bit of a keeper error there as well, though. 2-2, 1 minute from the final whistle. And as you would imagine, they left the field, the home side left the field, somewhat disappointed. Final score, 2-2. Confirmation then of all of the results on week 14. Now, next week, Albacete against Barcelona, Real Madrid against Sociedad, Valencia, Numancia, Espanyol, Mallorca at the top. Well, look at the lead. 11 points, or 9 points rather it is again. Espanyol down there in third place, still playing exceptionally well. At the bottom, it remains as tight as ever, just 4 points between 14th and 20th. There weren't too many seismic performances or upsets this weekend. This perhaps the biggest. Porto's record this season, 7-4-1. The only defeat coming against Boavista on November the 20th. Beira-Mar hadn't won since back on the 24th of September, and it was all Porto in the opening stages. Vitor Bahia these days dropped to a bit part player after a number of howling errors. 37 minutes, foul on Beto. Now, the hairstyle might not be that serious of Beto, but he is a player of exceptional talents. Most people would have tried to lift this over the wall. There's plenty of room to let the ball drop. He decided to do the Italian trick of waiting for them all to jump and shoot the ball underneath them, and he scored the goal. Fourth goal of the season for Beto, but it was only the 37th minute. There was plenty of time, of course, for Porto to respond. "38 minutes, what about this for a recovery on the line? 4 players on the keeper. Postiga headed it last. Pepe somehow managed to get it clear. 90 minutes again. They go close once more. Costinha heads it wide. The president looks on, pretty miffed by the whole occasion. Fernandez looking disappointed as well. Utter joy for Beira-Mar. They win 1-0. So with that defeat, Sporting could close to within a point of Porto if they beat Académica, who've sat just one off Moreirense at the bottom of the table. The game seemed over after just half an hour. 19 minutes. In goes the first goal. Lietzen with it. And then 2 minutes later from a similar position, and again a total lack of any defensive awareness, and the same man from Barbosa's cross, Lietzen making it 2-0. Now, Académica aren't really famed for their fighting spirit or character, and they're going to need plenty of it in their position if they're to get out of harm's way, the bottom of the table. And they showed a lot of both in the second half. Dire defending, though. 6 minutes into the second half, Dario, no offside. And they reduced the gap. Now, watch the build-up here. Penalty or no penalty, it was a penalty. And within 5 minutes, they were level. Luciano with the equalising goal. But one thing you're sure that Sporting will do is create chances. They'll pile forward, they do attack and look for the goal, and it was, again, another one of those comedy moments at the back. Ruggiero with the winning goal. But there was one final chance off the underside of the bar from Luciano. Wasn't to be Academica's day, but they'll take some heart from their performance. Final score, 3-2 Sporting. Well, apart from the aberration, which was the 5-1 loss to Sporting, the last 2 months have seen Boavista emerge as contenders, in the process playing some of the football that delivered them the title a few years ago. 60 minutes had gone before Z Emmanuel opened the scoring for Boavista. Well, Sam Morienza, bottom of the table, had just the solitary victory against Nacional in September, but they do remain upbeat about their chance of survival. You wouldn't have known why. João Pinto. Used to be one of the big names, was involved in that move. And then he got red carded. Final score, 1-1. There we go, confirmation of the week's results there. Good day for Sporting, not only with that performance, but also the fact that Porto went down at home, second time in a month. And there it is, tight at the top, isn't it? Just 1 point between Porto and Sporting. Boavista there as well. Setúbal closing in also. Benfica needs some ground to make up. Down at the bottom, still nothing much to cheer about for Morienza, but they're still in with a chance. There's 3 points separate 14th and 18th.
Plenty more to come here on Eurogoal. Stay with us. After the break, we go to the Bundesliga, where Bayern were held. Stuttgart hit 5. Plus action from the Eredivisie as well as the top 4. All won.
Felix Magath returns to the Frankenstadion, one of his former clubs, whom he led out the Bundesliga 2 in '98. No sympathies today, though. Bayern were on a real run. They'd won the last 5 in a row. It had taken them to the top of the table. Roy Mackay's pretty dangerous when you leave him in those positions. Now, red card. Wolf is sent off for receiving 2 yellow cards. That for handball in the penalty area. Roy Mackay scores the goal. Now, reminding them of his nationality was Zé Roberto from Brazil. Salihamidzic was also sent off for fouling Kiesling in the penalty area. Again, another ludicrous decision. This was the reason why he got his 2nd yellow card. Wasn't all over yet. Banovic would level the scores. Final score, 2-2. Well, the Ruhr derby, an incredible 83,600 people got into the Westfalen to see Van Marwijk's struggling Dortmund team, who've managed just 4 wins all season, lose again to Schalke. The goal scored by Ailton, 1-0, more misery for Dortmund. Well, Stuttgart coach Matthias Sammer said he was expecting a tough game against 16th place Bochum. He was obviously kidding as they turned on a bit of style here, but they also got some assistance from Kalla. Klepp's corner, Kalla's headed own goal. A further 21 minutes later, Stranzel's ball to Kurani. Not much between him and a 7th goal of the season. Bochum got back into it, though, on the 33rd minute. Trojans free kick. Nav sets up Edu. And then just before the hour, 2-2. Mismovic's header scored by, or headed in, rather, by Maltritz. 69 minutes, Klepp from 20 metres, made it 3-2. And then poor goalkeeping or a great header. That's for you to decide from this one, scored by Meissner. Then Lam, Kakao, Soldo would all combine to set Guarani free, his 7th of the season. And it ended with a rather comfortable scoreline. 5-2, Stuttgart win. And the other performance of the day was by Hertha Berlin and Werder Bremen. Werder Bremen 6-0 at Freiburg, perhaps expected. Hertha Berlin's victory against Mönchengladbach, perhaps not. Schalke drew level with Bayern Munich at the top of the table. Stuttgart 3 points behind now. Hanover up to 4th. Bremen down in 5th. And at the other end, it's not looking too happy, is it, for Freiburg or Rostock, Bochum, and Mönchengladbach and Borussia Dortmund, with Van Marwijk just about holding on to his job.
In the Premiership, there was another 4-goal haul for Chelsea, 2 for Thierry Henry, and Arsenal's win over Birmingham. And a late own goal winner for Everton against Bolton there keeps their remarkable run going. Chelsea 5 points clear of Arsenal, then Everton, and then Manchester United back to within 4 points of the Gunners. And at the bottom, West Bromwich Albion and Norwich there have only 2 wins between them all season.
PSV's week could end here with the acquisition of a new record. De Graafschap had scored just 13 in 14. If they didn't score in the first 63, PSV would break the clean sheet record held by Ajax. Now, that was perhaps the biggest comedy moment of the week, because Alex somehow scored after the goalkeeper, Van Dijk, decided to throw it out of his hands. 1,082 minutes was the record set up by Ajax. Back in 1971, the keeper of that time, Heinz Steuert, actually promised flowers to the De Graafschap player that could actually keep that run intact. 66 minutes. Andre Uya and Jefferson Farfan combining. Farfan goes into the penalty area, where he's then tripped. Penalty awarded. But their recent record against PSV has been very good. They've won 3 and drawn 1 of the last 7 against the Eindhoven team. But it wasn't going to be a day where there was anything much they could smile about. From the penalty spot, Mark van Bommel with his 5th goal of the season. Plenty more error-strewn defending coming up here. Gomez under the pressure there as he cleared it. Van Bommel's in the middle. Farfan's there once again to pick up and collect, and off he scoots before setting it up. Really is beginning to make something of an impression in Holland, Jefferson Farfan. Collects it. Off it goes to Beasley, playing on the right side, Beasley, instead of his normally favoured left there. 82 minutes. Baumerfans Park. And there's, guess who? 4-0, the final score. Another easy victory for Hiddink's team. AZ began the day in second, 2 points off PSV. The last time Adriaan's team had dropped a point in the lead was back on the 3rd of October when they drew 0-0 with Ajax. Opening goal, 18 minutes, Merding the scorer. 4th goal of the campaign for him. It's been 8 straight victories since that day they drew with Ajax in the league. Things in Europe going well as well after that performance against Rangers. Into the second half, Robin Nellis launched the attack. El Khattabi finished it. 2-0. And AZ keep up the pressure on PSV Eindhoven. Den Haag once again on the slide toward the relegation zone. Martin Koeman was in the Manamaker Stadium to watch his 2 sons, Erwin and Ronald, face each other as coaches for the first time. Ronald wasn't smiling after 7 minutes when Fuchs opened the scoring, albeit with a slight deflection off of Trabelsi. or Ronald, or Snowflake, as he's known over there, is having a testing season, as is Irwin. RKC hadn't registered a victory since the 4-0 away win against Nat Breda on the 26th of September. The lead lasted here 4 minutes. Wesley Sneijder with the equalising goal. More talent is on its way into the Amsterdam Arena in the winter break. There's plenty on its way out of it as well. First to respond here, Rosales with his 5th goal of the campaign. He's now the top scorer. Koeman was away watching a guy called Marcus Rosenborg of Malmo, who's ranked to be the new Zlatan last week. Well, Sneijder off the mark with the final kick of the game. Babel recovered it. Again, one of the new graduates who's going to be promoted into the first-team squad full-time after the Christmas break. Well, Feyenoord's successes this season have been all about 2 players, Dirk Kuyt and Solomon Kalou. Between them have got 21 of the 37 goals they've scored this season. Here they both are again, with Kuyt finishing it. 13th goal of the season for Dirk Kuyt, who is the object of many teams' desires. Whether they'll be able to hang on to him is another thing. They do need a defender or two. Here comes the goal of the week. Barreto was the scorer, back after a 3-game suspension. What a goal that was. Well, Dirk Kuyt given Solomon Kalou the 2 assists for the goals that got them in the UEFA Cup victory against Schalke. Kalou on the score sheet here to take him into double figures in the league. Finally, something to smile about. It's all gone not quite pear-shaped, but it was on the way for Gullit. They've dug out a few good victories here and they're back on track. Final score 2-0. And there we are. Elsewhere, not a good day for Heerenveen. They lost ground against Willem II. Vitesse with an important victory over Utrecht. They swapped positions, but at the top, 5 points now, the gap between PSV and AZ. Ajax close it to within 5 points of AZ, and Feyenoord drop down to 4th. De Graafschap, it's all misery for them. RBC in 17th, Den Bosch climbing onto the coattails of Den Haag.
Still more to come on Eurogoals. After the break, we go to France for all 15 goals scored in Ligue 1 this weekend. To France then, and Lyon took their impressive away record to Corsica to face Ajaccio, who are struggling near the bottom. Remarkable home record, though, for Ajaccio. Played 7, drawn 5 of them, only the 1 defeat here. It was a great defensive challenge to deny Viltord, first of all, then Johan de Mont at the other end for Ajaccio, as the home side really had a go here. Then Marshal Robin setting up the volley. Good block that by Piedebois. At this rate, Coupe will have trouble getting his place back. This, they thought, was the deciding goal. A sumptuous free kick by Juninho. 88 minutes on the watch. If he left early here, you'd have been disappointed, because Ajaccio scored even later still. 4 minutes into stoppage time. On the end of this move would be Waldir Lucas. Good poacher's goal. This Lyon still unbeaten, but dropping points, no question here, and missing the chance to put daylight between themselves and Lyon. Well, what a chance for Lille then at Paris Saint-Germain. Cold night in the capital. Got warmer though for Lille. 17 minutes gone when Landrin's cross finished off by Mathieu Bodmer. PSG so inconsistent this season. Had a chance in the 33rd minute to get level. It was the Albanian Kanya. Tony Silva behind it. PSG did get an equaliser in the 34th minute. Pancrats, Paletta and Corridor for Reinaldo. It finished 1-1. 4 draws in a row now for Lille. 3 of the same for PSG. And it's this inability to win games for Lille that's hampering their championship chances. Well, Philippe Trissier's first match as the new coach of Marseille was a tricky one at Caen here. In the 26th minute, though, the visiting side, buoyed by this new mood through the club, scored the opening goal through Habib Bamako. It's a real end-to-end match, this. Caen almost drawing level before the break. It was good play by Cyril Vattier. Briefest of touches from Gavanon, enough to prevent it going in. Caen didn't get an equaliser before the break, just 2 minutes before it, in fact. Nice header by Gregory Dufert. It's the Belgians' first goal for Caen. But nothing is ever straightforward with Marseille these days. Just 2 minutes after the break and they found themselves back in front. Bamako brought down in the area by Hengba. The hosts weren't happy about it. Bamako was. That was his 6th goal of the season. A further 15 minutes on, and surely Marseille had it sewed up with a goal from Coquet. It's the young Spaniard who's made quite an impression this season at the Velodrome. But a disastrous handball by Habib Beye, 9 minutes from the end, enabled Caen to get a second goal through Vattier. And there was real controversy at the end. An offside flag given here to deny the goal by Vattier. It looked harsh on Caen, didn't it? The fortune is with Marseille at the minute. This was only their 2nd away win of the season. And Caen continue to languish on the fringes of the relegation zone. Having drawn 6 of their previous 7 matches, Didier Deschamps' Monaco team had assumed the mantle of the French Inter. But like the Italian side, the unwanted stalemate sequence was broken the right way at the weekend. Calon, his 7th of the season, and 2 goals in the opening half hour. 2 in 2 minutes, in fact, just either side of the 30-minute mark. So this one up. Chevanton, after the terrible defensive error. Then Kim Kallström tried to spearhead a Rennes revival here. Good save by Oda. Just a minute later, the resulting corner, in fact, off the bar from Sorlin. And then it was Kallström again with 14 minutes to go, just wide. Rennes had their chances, didn't they? Then Doudou, denied by the woodworkers. Monaco held on. This their first win in the league since September. The noose tightens around the neck of the Nantes coach Loïc Amis. The Canaries stumbled to their 4th straight defeat and 2nd in a row at home at the weekend. Nice, the victors, they had a chance in the first minute, the visitors. Roudet, just wide. They didn't need to worry, though. 28 minutes gone, and the side from the south got the goal through Florent Balmont. It swerved in front of Landreau, but maybe the keeper should have done better. Well, chances were traded in the final 14 minutes. That was so close to a second goal for Nice. Victor Agali, the Nigerian, just wide. And then Savino here. And one of the last opportunities for Nantes, Gregorini just denying Nzigu there. Nice getting an away win for the first time since they came from 3 down at Monaco at the start of October. We know what it's like. You wait 12 matches for a win and then 2 come along at once. Last week's success at Sochaux for Lens was followed by this strong performance against Metz. Cagey opening. Only came to life, really, this game in the last 10 minutes of the first half. John Utaka denied. Wasn't there, though. Lovely poaching finish for the 4th goal of the current season for the Nigerian. Metz tried to hit Lens here on the counter. Gueye, unmarked, and enjoying the space, but not enjoying the finish. It was a poor one, should really have hit the target. The second goal, 23 minutes from the end, sealed this. It was Seydou Keita, the Mali international, with a header, getting his first goal since the 2nd day of the season. 5 games without a win now for Metz. History made in Ligue 1 at the weekend. East have their first ever win in the top flight in France. It was a close-run thing, though, against Bastia. Tony Varel there into the side netting when he should have done better. The game looked as if it was petering out. Then 15 minutes from the end, Saifi in space on the right, the cross for Moussa Ndiaye. And just listen for what it meant to East. Only the 9th goal East have scored in their 17 matches this season. They're one of the poorest scorers in the top flight. Almost got another one, though, through Konombo, denied by the woodwork. It was almost heartbreak for East when Frederick Ney burst through, but he put it wide, and East have that historic first ever win. There we go, goalless at Strasbourg, Auxerre and Saint-Etienne. Top of the table, still pleasant reading for Lyon, even though they were held at Ajaccio. 5 points, the breathing space. Marseille up to third. Well, East have that first win, but it's not enough to lift them off the top of the table. Maybe off the bottom of the table, rather. It might just launch a run. It's that time again for you to win terrific prizes here on Eurosport. Technique behind the goal. Well, before we show you the 3 shortlisted this week, this was last week's winner, a fizzer from Luis Figo in that 5-0 win for Real Madrid. Here we can see the view behind Figo, starting from the left and drifting central. Figo has his 2 strikers really to thank for the goal. See how both of them run away, taking defenders out of the game. We see that although the goalkeeper was unsighted here, he couldn't do anything to stop the sheer power of this shot. It was swerved slightly. It was all about the power. No doubting the quality of the effort. Certainly helped, though, as well by the fact that he wasn't challenged by any defenders. Last week's best goal came from Spain then. 2 of the 3 shortlisted this week come from Italy. Who said Serie A was boring? This was goal A. Goran Pandev weaving through to score at Juventus for Lazio. Goal B, a volley here from Aminio Orullo, Lecce against Livorno. Two great goals then. Will they be eclipsed, though, I wonder, by goal C this week? Terrific shot here by Edgar Barreto for NEC at De Kuip against Feyenoord. Some shot, wasn't it? 3 terrific goals for you to choose from. You know the deal by now. You can vote via SMS or on the Eurosport website. Text your goal of choice to the number which corresponds to the country in which you're watching. Some excellent goals again here on Eurogoals then. That's it for another week. Stay tuned, Friday, 19:30 CET, the latest update of our top 24 table. And of course, those crucial matches in the Champions League as well. We'll be bringing you the best of those come Thursday, Friday and Saturday. That's all from Eurogoals for tonight, though, from Tim Capel and myself, Andy Bodfish. Cheerio.